Hello guys, welcome back. We are here with another interesting video. In this video we are going to talk about Nazca Lines. The Nazca Lines are a collection of giant geoglyphs, designs or motifs etched into the ground located in the Peruvian coastal plain about 250 miles, 400 kilometers, south of Lima, Peru, created by the ancient Nazca culture in South America, and depicting various plants, animals, and shapes. The 2,000-year-old Nazca Lines can only be fully appreciated when viewed from the air given their massive size. Despite being studied for over 80 years, the geoglyphs, which were designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1994, are still a mystery to researchers. What are Nazca Lines? Nazca Lines are divided into three types: straight lines, geometric designs and graphic representations. There are more than 800 flat beaches, some of which are 30 kilometers, 48 miles, long. There are also more than 300 designs, including spirals, arrows, zigzags, and wavy lines, along with simple shapes like triangles, rectangles, and trapezoids. The Nazca Lines are perhaps best known for their nearly 70 plant and animal species, some of which reach 370 meters in length. Examples include spiders, hummingbirds, cactus plants, monkeys, whales, llamas, ducks, flowers, trees, lizards and dogs. The Nazca also created other documents, such as human figures, nicknamed astronauts, hands, and some unidentified depictions. In 2011, a Japanese team discovered a new landmark that appears to represent a barber shop. About 4.2 meters long and 3.1 meters wide, smaller than other Nazca images and difficult to see from aerial surveys. The Nazca people were known for collecting gift heads, and a 2009 study found that most of the skulls were from humans, not outsiders, as those they were buried with. In 2016, the same group discovered another geoglyph, this time depicting a mythical creature 98 feet tall, 30 meters long, with many legs, spotted markings, and a protruding tongue. And in 2018, Peruvian archaeologists announced the discovery of more than 50 new geoglyphs at the site, using drone technology to show landmarks in unprecedented detail. How the Nazca Lines formed. Anthropologists believe the Nazca culture began around 100 BC. It flourished from 1 to 700 AD, creating most of the Nazca Lines. The Chavín and Paracas cultures that preceded the Nazca also produced some geoglyphs. The Nazca Lines in the desert plains of the Rio Grande do Nasca River Basin, more than 75,000 hectares of archaeological sites, are one of the driest places in the world. The desert floor is covered with a deep rust-colored iron oxide-coated pebble. The ancients built their structures by removing the top 12 to 15 inches of rock, exposing the deep sand underneath. They can start with a small model and gradually increase the scale of the model to create a larger model. Most of the pseudoglyphs were created by removing stone from the edge of the image, creating a pattern, while others were created by removing stone from the inside. Given the low rainfall, wind and erosion in the desert, signs of the area have not been inhabited for centuries. Nazca Lines and aliens? Peruvian archaeologist Toribio Mejías began studying these lines in 1926, but the landmarks were not recognized until the 1930s, when pilots flew over them. Since then, experts have debated the purpose of the Nazca Lines. In the 1930s and early 1940s, American historian Paul Kozak studied symbols from the ground and from the air. Based on the position of one of the lines he studied with respect to the sun around the winter solstice, he concluded that the above inscriptions had an astronomical purpose. A short time later, the German archaeologist and translator Mara Reich also concluded that the structure had an astronomical and calendrical purpose. She also believed that certain zoogeographic symbols represented the stars in the sky. However, in the 1960s and early 1970s, other researchers, including the American archaeologist Gerald Hawkins, studied the Nazca Lines but disagreed with the astronomical interpretation of geographic symbols. They also made other mysterious explanations. such as aliens or ex-sailors. Use of Nazca Lines. Recent research has shown that the use of Nazca Lines relates to water, a valuable commodity in the arid region of the Peruvian coast. The geoglyphs were not used as instructions for using or finding water, but were part of a ritual for the gods, an effort to bring more rain. Some scientists point to animals as evidence for this theory, some of the signs of rain, water, or fertility, and also found at other ancient sites and dishes in Peru. Presented at the 80th annual meeting of the Archaeological Society of America in 2015, researchers argued that the use of the Nazca Lines has changed over time. Originally, pilgrims to the Peruvian temple complex used the GI as a ceremonial path. The group then broke a ceramic jar at the intersection of the two lines as part of a religious ceremony. Conservation issue. Unlike other monuments in the world, the Nazca Lines are highly protected against unintentional vandalism due to their location. Geographical symbols are not completely secure, however, was destroyed for the first time on the Nazca Lines records in 2009, from the Pan American Highway, the road that connects almost every country in the Americas to the Pacific coast. Put sand and clay on 3 fingers of the hand like GI. 5 years later, environmental group Greenpeace disturbed a nearby hummingbird GI in a media show. Protesters were cut off by hummingbirds on the upper rocks as they crossed the desert exclusion zone to leave large marks encouraging the movement to continue. In 2018, a commercial driver was arrested after entering part of the Nazca Lines, leaving a deep pit in an area of 100 feet by 330 feet, approximately 50 meters by 100 meters. Damage caused by the truck driver was repeated at the scene for safety and maintenance. Please comment below the topic that need to add in this list.